Okay, we are live. Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot and very happy to be here today. So, I have the sort of team from Jampha, and we've got a father son team, and Trinn and David. And David is at the top, and Trinn is in the lower part. And at least when I'm looking at this. So, I don't know if everybody's view is the same, but in theory, so let me fix that. So anyway, it's great to see you guys and have you on my show once again. And I'm not sure. I guess David, this is your first time on my show, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we've had Trinn on the show, and so what I'd like you to do is give yourselves a short introduction, and we can start with you, David, since you're new, even though it says Mary on your name tag. Okay.
Great. Well, it's a pleasure to be with you today, Carrie. It's really hard, as you can expect, to try and create a summary of decades of work. But real briefly, my background has been primarily in risk management, either in a public sector or in a private sector. And it started with being a risk manager for a variety of multi-billion-dollar corporations. And then I had two experiences in Washington, D.C., one as a presidential appointee for the Department of Agriculture. And there I worked in the risk management agency of the USDA and did that for 3 years. And that's where I cut my teeth on working with Capitol Hill, working with the White House, working with a variety of domestic organizations. And then a few years later, I went back to California, then went back to Washington, D.C. to work on agriculture from an international perspective at the Organization of American States. And there I worked with all the countries in Latin America, with the State Department, with the World Bank, United Nations, USAID, just a whole host of organizations. And so between those two experiences, I learned a great deal about Washington, D.C. And then moved to, that's another story. Did a lot of work on the Holocaust involving insurance and reinsurance issues that were used to help fund World War II for the Nazis, and discovered lots of information there that's not really very well known. And I also ran 3 different companies. And so part of my responsibility now with Jampha is to help our organization begin to really scale up. So I have the business acumen, and Trinn has developed himself into a wonderful conveyor of this knowledge. And so we're all playing to our strengths. And so it's an opportunity for me to help my son really build this company. We talk about wanting to heal the world, and that requires us to be able to scale. And so we're making all the preparations in order to do that.
Okay, it's probably fairly challenging in terms of the product line that I know of that you have, and I'm sure that I don't know everything, but you certainly sent me a quantity of stuff, and I'm using it every day, and I love it. I think it's fabulous. So, just saying, and what I'd like to do is kind of bring up your, I guess, website. I'll bring that up, and then we'll kind of go over various products. But Trinn, before we do that, if you don't mind giving yourself an introduction as well. I know we had you on the show before, but there's going to be new viewers. And yeah, so just back up what David's got going on and let us know what your background is.
Yeah, my background's a little different. Most of my background has been in private security. That's what I did before this. This experience of co-creating Jampha Tibetan Pharmacy was really born out of my own physical challenges. I broke my leg and almost had to have it amputated. Ended up on a bunch of medications and disability, and didn't want to live that way anymore. And that's really what led me to forge a path into plant medicine and mineral medicine. And along the way, in creating different products to help myself heal, we decided to start a company and share what we were learning with the world. And about 2 years into that process, a Tibetan physician named Damchi Tubten Lekshe, who's a lineage holder of the Tibetan healing science of Suarigpa, he found us and sent us a message and said he saw what we were doing with terpenes and wanted to come and share some of his knowledge of that with us. And we had no idea what an Amchi was or who he was, but he very wonderfully came into our lives and began to share with us the wisdom of Tibetan pharmacology. And together over the last 4 years, we've integrated what we've understood with terpenes and his knowledge of botanical and mineral medicine, and really have advanced the expression of not just Tibetan medicine, but phytomedicine, natural medicines.
Okay, so you started to I guess apprentice with the master that creates these I don't know, I never know what to call them. You're calling them medicine
infusions. Infusions is a good way to call them.
Yeah. I was calling them potions and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, in answer to your question, yes, I began, pretty rigorous training with Thamti right from the start. I think from the time we met, we started emailing each other back and forth because he doesn't have a phone. And we didn't miss a day. Some days there were 25 emails for about 3 years until he got sick. And then we wrote each other after a few days of not hearing from each other and said, hang on a second, is this the first time we haven't talked in a whole day? So that's kind of how our relationship's been from the start. He's been very graciously trying to share with me as much information as he can and really help me get up to speed on understanding how Tibetan medicine works and the philosophy behind it.
Okay. And it is extremely complex, at least it seems to me, when I read the ingredients that are listed on everything. So I'm going to see if I think I have your page.
It's complex for our minds to understand, but our bodies, our innate healing wisdom, it speaks the same language as plant medicine. Plant medicine, it's speaking energetically to our body in a way that it understands. Oh, there it is.
Okay, good. Well, actually, I guess that's your ad. So just everyone use the term, the Camelot code. And we have on my front page the ad, but this is a new version of the same ad. You'll recognize it from there. So just wanted to, I guess, show you that. And now I'll go give people the actual website. So this is your website.
We have some bundles on there I don't think we went through last time, Carrie. There's some pretty interesting
All right.
bundle configurations that I think your audience might be interested in.
Okay, just tell me where to go.
We can start with the spike protein bundle and work our way down if you like.
All right, sounds good.
So spike proteins, for those who don't know, there's more information coming to light about this. The whole COVID thing obviously has been a lot of misinformation and a lot of trying to figure out what the right information is. Spike proteins are now an accepted science. For unvaccinated people, we can take on spike proteins through pheromone transfer by vaccinated people. It's a technology that's been used with livestock for half a century, so that they don't have to inoculate the whole herd. They can inoculate 20%, and that herd, that 20% will then through pheromone transfer inoculate the rest of the herd. And so similar technologies was used with the coronavirus vaccine, and so it's something to be aware of. This bundle is specifically set up to support the body to remove those spike proteins and to restore health of the blood and get the spike proteins out of the organs. We sell this bundle probably more than any other bundles. You can use a combination of all three of the formulas, Blue Lotus Peacock and Turquoise Dragon, as well as Life Fumo. We generally add Life Fumo when there's been any consideration of some kind of a reaction to the vaccine, as in the residuals causing an interaction. And that Life Fumo is designed to help remove those residuals from the cells. And so this protocol can be used depending on how serious it is or how long it's been since you've done something to give your body some support to cleanse. But generally 30 days to 90 days, if it's severe symptoms, is enough time to clear them from your body.
Okay. So, and I'm actually taking 2 of these. And I think they do other things as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's a comprehensive spike protein cleanse. It's also a parasite cleanse. It's also a long COVID cleanse. You're removing Lyme, fungus, mold, and when people are dealing with things like cancer, a lot of the times those underlying conditions are what cause the cancer. So when you remove the causes, the cancer can now be treated and leave the body. So Blue Lotus Peacock is a formula that helps to identify and remove cancerous cells. Turquoise Dragon is a Tibetan antibiotic, antiviral, antibacterial. And together, Turquoise Dragon and Blue Lotus Peacock are a very formidable pair for any type of pathogen.
okay, very cool. And by the way, I know it might not be sort of protocol, but I think they taste good. These all these each one has a very unique taste, and I like the taste of them. So just saying.
Yeah, I agree. Part of my training has been learning the olfactory system and how to get the notes, the bottom and the top and the middle note perfect, so that it tastes that way. And that's been one of my favorite parts of training is learning how to really hone into those senses and
So
understand what's happening in the formula.
it's almost like when they create wine. You know,
Hmm.
there's experts on obviously being able to smell the wine and also having just a bit of a taste and be able to identify all the different ingredients based on that. So is that kind of what you've been taught to do?
It's when we create a formula, we're using botanicals, and the botanicals have their own unique taste. Terpenes, when you introduce terpenes, can change the dynamic of that taste. It lifts it really quite exponentially. So, our formulas, even if you're just smelling them before taking them, they're already starting their healing support in your body through your olfactory systems because of those terpenes. But we spend a
Okay.
lot of time making sure that the taste is right to where we need it to be. We're in there and working together whenever we formulate. And so we put a lot of effort into making sure that they taste the way that they should. And it's like a big, beautiful bouquet of flowers. There's so many botanicals in there.
Yes, absolutely. Now, going back to this, to your website. So we're on the bundles, and the next thing is 5 must-have infusions. Should we go there?
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm doing consultations, I'll talk to healthy people, and they'll say, "What can I do to improve my health?" And these 5 infusions can really take your health to another level. Blue Lotus Peacock is supporting your immune regulation and clearing your systems out. Ethereum is a absolutely marvelous formula. That is ormus or monatomic gold. I know you went to Egypt recently, and this ormus is produced in the same way that the Egyptian pharaohs produced it. Actually, I had a conversation with somebody who called in today. His name was Patrick, and he wanted me to send you his love and say that he was on a trip with you in 2012, and he just loved you so much. So I told him I'd pass that message on.
Thank you. That's very
He just bought
sweet.
himself some of these formulas as well, and we've been spending some time
Oh,
getting
lovely.
him up to date on them. Yeah, so that Ethereum is really a formula that's used for a healthy constitution. It's an energetic driver. The Egyptians and other races throughout history used it for increasing spiritual energy, increasing consciousness and attunement to our higher self, and it has a whole host of physical benefits that go along with that. So that is the usually the go-to formula for people that are healthy and just want to give themselves a supercharge daily. 1 ml of that in your water in the morning is pretty phenomenal for getting into a flow state and getting stuff done.
Excellent. Okay.
The
And the next one, healing heart.
healing heart, that's in there because everybody needs a little healing heart. That formula has a special place in my heart. It's the first thing that I've ever used that has been able to help dissolve and release trauma and PTSD and things that you didn't even know were stuck in that neural network of your heart. Our hearts have a neural network that's larger than our brain. It doesn't remember things with thoughts. It remembers things with emotions and experiences and charged experiences. And so there's not a lot out there that helps us to remove that, at least in, a substance. There's counselors and all of that stuff. But this formula gives your body and your heart the ability to release and let go of those traumas and those negative emotions without having to relive the experiences. And that's been a profound profound experience for me. So healing heart for anybody that's engaged in any type of healing work, if you're supporting others on their healing journey and sometimes you feel like you need a little support yourself, healing heart helps you to reset and have more love and compassion to give for the next person you're helping.
So, okay. And it also talks about the pineal gland, which is a really good, sort of stimulus for that, I imagine.
Yeah, it brings the mind and the heart into coherence. And
Okay.
so when we're living in a coherent state and we're thinking, we're acting from our heart's intelligence, that's when we're in that coherent state. And that's really what Ethereum or what a healing heart is supporting to happen. The last formula we're going to talk about is white elephant, and that's actually a pineal activator. And so
Okay,
in
but you skipped the
combination,
white tiger.
yeah, white tiger is for arthritic conditions.
Okay.
It's for neuroregeneration. We're going to use that one for you. We had a conversation earlier that will help to repair any type of damage from injuries. When I used that formula, I had a severed nerve in my hand, and I'd lost some feeling in my fingers, and I just forgot about it. About 2 weeks after starting to use that formula, I had this shooting energy sensation start in the middle of the night through my fingers. And I woke up like, what the heck is going on? And it kept getting stronger and stronger. So I actually drove across town and went to Amchi's house and knocked on his door and said, hey, man, I got something weird going on here. What do you think it is? And he just kind of looked to the side for a second and came back and he said, well, do you have nerve damage in that hand? And I said, oh, yeah, had an accident at a shooting range once and I damaged it. And he said, well, it's regenerating. Now I have feeling back in those fingers. So that formula has amazing properties, as well as that just getting rid of arthritic pain and inflammation from multiple joints in the body. I had it in more than 5 joints. We call that polyarthritic conditions. And that formula was able to systematically help me to get rid of all of that.
Okay, very good. And then white elephant.
White elephant, that's another formula that's very close to our hearts. We actually created that for my mother, Mary. She'd had a brain tumor and multiple brain surgeries, had died on the table, came back and had lost a lot of her executive functions in her brain and most of her vision. And so she's been on a journey for more than 10 years, doing everything possible and everything that we could find to try to help her to get those functions and that vision back. And along with a lot of other things that she's done, that white elephant has been game changer for her. I've seen a change in her that is pretty breathtaking. She's able to think and process and work again. And if you had seen how much trauma she went through during her illness, doctors look at her at her chart and then look at her sitting there and they can't believe she's sitting up straight. They think that she should be in a gurney and disabled, but that white elephant helped her to regain her executive functions and helped her brain and healing. It's very effective for traumatic brain injuries. We use it for people with neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's or dementia, and it will stave off and help the body to stave off those degenerative conditions, and also to regenerate where possible.
Okay, and
Carrie, can I just want to add a couple of things real quick?
Sure.
So Trinn is talking about his mom, obviously my wife, and so I had been really just being home with her for the past 10 years and have seen the changes that Trinn described. And for your viewers, I think the 2 most significant interventions have been hyperbaric therapy and white elephant to deal with those kinds of neuro issues. Most of traditional medicine says that hyperbaric therapy isn't going to work 2 years after a stroke. But we can tell your viewers that that's not the case. At least it wasn't for her. And so there really is hope. If you take a look at your own sorts of inner guidance, and you seek alternative treatments when traditional medicine doesn't work. And white elephant was really the 1-2 punch, made a huge difference. And Amchi, thankfully, really took it upon himself to develop something very unique. And he describes white elephant as the most complex infusion that he makes. It does so many things. He says that if I were to pick a couple, white elephant would be one of those that I would be taking daily because it has a myriad of benefits.
Very good to hear. I'm sure that my audience will be interested in that. So now I'm going to go, let's see where we are. to the next, I guess, drop down here, and that is.
But that's the same one as before. It just has a CBD option, so we can skip that one.
Oh, all right. So, well, let's just. When you say what does it mean? That does it? It has everything and CBD. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I started the company using CBD and terpenes, and that's all I knew. That's all I had experience
Oh,
for. And part of what brought Anchi out of the ether to us is asking for guidance on how to incorporate botanical, herbal medicine into what we were doing. And
okay.
he came along and he's educated me on that. And what I've come to be aware of is that there's an ocean of healing out there. CBD is just one molecule; it's one part of that ocean of healing, and there's many, many, many other botanicals that can do essentially what CBD is doing and more. And the CBD part has been a very big challenge for us. Any of the the corporations that are mainstream really don't want to see CBD come to mainstream, and so we've shifted in the way that we're presenting the products and formulating them, so that we can step out of that kind of box that we've been put in and advertise more and get out to more people. So we're in a transition right now where we're removing CBD from the products, and we're potentially putting together a new CBD formula, which will be singular, which will be an additive to add to any of the other formulas if you choose to have CBD.
Oh, I see. Okay. Fair enough. So this is the next drop down, which is this combination of Mithuna, Prana,
Metuna
and
prana.
White Elephant and Healing Heart.
This is the most common protocol for anybody doing advanced spiritual work: Qigong, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, Kriya, Yoga, breath work. This combination, White Elephant, is a pineal activator. So it's activating your pineal gland and bringing resonance into coherence with your heart. The Healing Heart obviously is activating the torus field, activating the heart chakra. When those two come into alignment and we're in coherence, that's when the magic happens. We get into a flow state. We stay present in the moment, and things start to unfold effortlessly. The Maithuna Prana, that's a Tibetan tantric formula. It's for building chi and enhancing intuition. That formula really begins at the root chakra and starts to raise chi through all of the chakras. For those who are prepared for it and working on a Kundalini activation, this is the formula for it. Not everybody's ready for that, but when you are, this is an amazing catalyst and support for that process. And, we have different types of healers that perform different types of ceremonies, and they'll incorporate these formulas into the preparatory period before they come and they take sacred medicines.
Excellent. Well, that's good to know. I connected my chakras when I was quite young and have had multiple samadhi experiences since then. So that sounds like a really nice thing. And I'm sure that can encourage maybe others to go down that road. I do teach Kundalini activation as well and have videos about it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We should send you a few extra bottles then.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever you like. You've been very generous.
The topical page is being updated right now. We're removing one of our topicals to make room for more products. We had two topicals that were both for skin inflammation, and we've just reduced it to one. So that's why it's not showing up.
Okay. And let's see. So do I keep going down, or we kind of completed that?
Yeah, the Ethereum and Rose Gold Diamond Trilogy. That's a good one to look at.
Okay. The rose gold. Okay.
Yeah.
I think rose gold is very nice.
Yeah, that formula is pretty phenomenal. When we first created that, I took that to an Ayurvedic convention in North Carolina, and it just happened that the head Ayurvedic doctor in America was there. It's his organization. His name's Vasant Lad, and one of his students, one of our people that we work with, asked him to come and meet us. And so he came over and we took some pictures and we gave him the bottles to try, and he put a bottle in his hand and he didn't really even look at it. He just kind of closed his eyes and felt it maybe for 10, 20 seconds. And then he handed it back. We said, no, that's for you. And he said, do you know what Jampha means? And in my mind, I'm going, well, yeah, dude, I started the company. I know what it means. And I told him, and he goes, no, which I said, loving kindness. And he said, no, what it meant before that. And I said, before that, I don't know what you're referring to. And he said, Jampha means quantum leap. And I said,
nice.
Okay. What language is that? He said, Sanskrit. And I said, oh, okay.
Wow.
So when he gave his keynote address, he mentioned bringing spirit back into formulations. He said, mind, body, everybody talking about mind, body. And he went very quiet, like you could hear a pin drop in the room. And he just said, what about the spirit? And all of these physicians started looking around at each other like, what's he talking about? And he said, well, maybe in 10 years, maybe 5 years, maybe right over there. And he pointed to our booth and he said, we'll bring the spirit back into our formulations. And what he was referring to subtly was us using terpenes in our traditional botanical formulations, which vastly increases the healing potential because terpenes are the life force energy of the plants. They have an innate intelligence that communicates with their body's own biochemistry. And so including terpenes with the botanicals is like sending in the rangers with a SEAL team behind them. It's really the special forces of the plant kingdom and the mineral kingdom, and your body knows what to do with that energy. So when he tested this rose gold diamond shilajit formula, actually one of his students tested it, and it tested a ridiculous number, like 6 trillion life force energy units. And he was like, there's no way it tested at that. And so he had one of the doctors or one of the teachers tested, and it was some type of a Vedic device they were using. And it came out to 7.7 trillion units. And they looked at each other dumbfounded, like, what are you putting in here? Like, how did it get this? We told him sacred mantra, and there's some diamonds in there, and ormus, obviously, which is very highly charged. And we sold out of that formula at that event and knew that we were onto something special. And so according to Amchi, that formula is the highest expression of shilajit on the planet.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, I don't know why I just I really like that one. So now maybe I know a little bit more of why. Okay, let's see. I want to go down here. Is there anything else I should be clicking on?
Let's see. That's the H5N1 daily wellness protocol. That we had a little bit of a run of that come through. I don't know if it's going to pop it set up again, but it's a very similar protocol to what we use for cold and flu, an antibiotic and a lung formula.
Golden Eagle is quite nice as well. Can you talk a little bit about that one? Because I think that's
Golden
good
Eagle
for people that there's a lot of people I meet, a lot of people with respiratory things. Like all over the map kind of things.
And probably even more so after the fires down there.
But actually, well, we weren't in, my area didn't get that smoke. Actually, it didn't even come in our direction, as I say, It went the other way. But I don't know if you're hearing about the low-lying fog that seems to be emerging. And I think it's not good. There's some kind of spraying going on, but it's not coming out of chemtrails. It's coming from somewhere else. Not sure how. So Golden Eagle might be the thing for people that are experiencing some of those effects.
Yeah. Golden Eagle for people with asthma, any type of breathing conditions, COPD, lung damage from chemicals or having some kind of a sickness as a child, and pretty much anything that's a degenerative lung condition, Golden Eagle will have an amazing effect on, and used over time. Lungs take a long time to regenerate, but I've seen people come back from, having to be on breathing apparatuses and not being able to sleep without machines attached to them to being able to get up out of bed and walk down to the mailbox and do things that just weren't possible for a long time. So that formula, it's like all of them, it can be a very, very wonderful heaven sent when you've been looking for something for a long time to get that relief.
Excellent. And turquoise dragon, that I think I recall you saying last time that it had a lot to do with boosting your energy, right? Am I right?
Yeah, it's a chi channel cleanser. And so, when I take that at night, I wake up super early the next morning full of energy. That's the first thing I noted about that formula. Okay. And it's because it's clearing the channels, it's tonifying the blood, it's getting rid of pathogens. You just feel better. Whenever we travel, we make sure any of our team that travels has a bottle of turquoise dragon, and they take it 2 days or 3 days before and 2 to 3 days after traveling and during traveling. And when we do that, no one gets sick. I didn't do that one time. I gave away my bottle of turquoise dragon as I was leaving actually Dad's house at the Vegas airport, and I got home and was sick for 9 days. I got a soup of sickness sitting at that airport. I learned my lesson. I've never done that again.
It's sort of like, I don't know, it's like a burst of energy in a bottle kind of thing. It's kind of like supercharges you. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, as soon as you got go ahead.
I was just going to just splice in here a comment. I don't know how many of your viewers or of you have provided blood for a live blood test, where they take a look at your red blood cells and your white blood cells and your candida and all of that in there. And I had that done about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I'm in my early 70s now, and they had a whole kind of shelving of products that they were ready to sell based on what they found in my blood. And they started to take a look at it, and they said, "Oh my gosh." And they started describing the red blood cells, and had the perfect shape and the border and all that kind of thing. And I said, "Well, I've been taking, blue turquoise dragon, and I've been taking shilajit and white elephant." And they said, "Well, we have nothing to offer you. Your blood is as close to perfect as it can possibly be." So now they want to talk to us,
Great.
to offer up those kinds of products. So the blood is such a critical element to our health, and the turquoise dragon really helps to cleanse that. So when I have something in my lungs, particularly, it's the turquoise dragon and the golden eagle that really can knock it out.
Okay, good to know. So there you go. And guess we've kind of covered everything here. So I'm going to go back up to this bundle just in case there's anything we need to cover down here. So anything we might have missed here, performance enhancement or the healing teas? What do you think?
Just the Lyme fungus mold and parasite cleanse might be worth taking a quick look at, because,
All right.
of all the things that we deal with, the one thing that everyone probably watching this has in common is that we have some mold or some fungus or some Lyme in our system. That's just, it's part of the environments that we live in, and being aware of that, and doing something to counter it, it can stave off all types of chronic conditions, including cancer. There's now more and more awareness all across the board. So, I heard Barbara O'Neill speaking about this recently. We're going to a conference with her next month. But we need to support ourselves so that we can get as healthy as we possibly can, and that's really what Tibetan medicine is. It's not just helping us to recover from illness and sickness, but it's fortifying our vitality and our health so that our bodies and our minds and our spirits are capable of offsetting those pathogens and different things that we're facing now, and really giving us a strong constitution to defend ourselves from.
Excellent. All right. So there you have it. That looks very, very good. And I have a friend who found fungus or mold in his house. I guess it was mold. And, he's been dealing with that. So I'm going to, recommend some stuff for him. And by the way, you didn't say the thing about where you do the free consultation kind of thing. Can you do?
Yeah, if you click just below the bundles there, you'll see the tab.
Okay.
It's going to it takes consultation there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so this is our consultation page. With you just let us know that Camelot is your code, and it'll be a free consultation for up to 30 minutes. We take time to listen to what you're dealing with and look at where all of the potential causes of the problems are, and then help to suggest a protocol that will support healing in all of those areas. So this is, the fastest way to really get the information that you need. There's no expectation of you buying anything. It's really an exploratory conversation so you can understand what we're doing. And we can help you to understand what the potentials are, within our pharmacy collection for supporting your healing journey.
Excellent. All right. That's, a very valuable thing to have. I think there are
I've met some amazing, wonderful people that have come through from your
oh yeah
from your last just characters. Sometimes I'm on a conversation for 2 hours and I'm like, oh whoops, I missed another call. And it's always like talking to family, so we're really grateful to be immersed with your family and to be able to support them as best we can.
Okay. Now, what about these last two, healing teas and performance enhancing? Which one?
The performance enhancing bundle, we've tested it out with a lot of athletes. We have a world championship boxing boxer who hurt his wrist was going to be out of contention for at least a year. We started him about 4 months ago on this protocol with an addition of White Tiger. And he just notified me last week that he's taken a fight in Vegas in less than a month's time. And so his
Oh,
body's regenerated and healed to the point where he can now go and fight a heavyweight contender and feel good about that. So this is a regenerative protocol. The white elephant is neuro-regenerating, not just for the body, but especially for the mind. Rose gold diamond shilajit is giving the body the mineral fortitude and support that it needs to be able to regenerate and heal. Shilajit contains 90 or more minerals, as well as fulvic and humic acid, and we help to direct that healing energy with the adaptogenic botanicals that are included in there. There's also nano diamonds that are charged with different frequencies, as well as colloidal and colloidal gold and colloidal silver. So that formula is really giving the body the magic to make changes where changes might not have otherwise been possible.
excellent.
And Maituna Prana, that's the chi builder, that's the energy, that's the one that helps you get off the couch and to the gym and to the swimming pool and to be active and just keep moving.
Okay, very good. All right, so I guess there was healing teas. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we just got 2 of those back in stock. Those are like our fastest sellers, and we use so many rare and precious botanicals that it can be a challenge to restock these when we're not expecting it. But right now we have Golden Shield and Deep Forest Healing. The Golden Shield is an immunity for any type of infections or pathogens that you're fighting. When you get sick, you sip on those teas in between tinctures, and they're medicinal, just like the infusions are. The Deep Forest Healing Tea, we use that for protocols where people are trying to regenerate and heal from, any body systems. Really, it's very, very comprehensive support for systemic wellness. It helps to work with the endocrine systems as well as with hormones and balancing, gut chemistry and really a whole host of other benefits. So that's a formula that we use mainly for regeneration, the Golden Shield Tea for active pathogens.
Okay, so when it says out of stock, is this sign for this particular tea, which is the
Yes.
blue? Okay,
Yeah.
and how soon would these get replenished, do you think?
In the next few weeks. I mean, these are the bundles, so everything's available in the other tabs, and we could
All right.
show people a little bit just before we go. But yeah, the bundles, some of them are not in stock, where we'll get them in stock as quick as possible. But all the products that are in stock are on their respective tabs right there.
Okay.
At the top, we have the infusions, and then the Tibetan pill medicines, and we can talk about those if you like, because we haven't really touched on those.
All right.
So Tibetan pill medicines, these are very, very special. It's really a huge blessing that we even have access to them here in the U.S. They come directly from the Tibetan Buddhist medical monasteries in Nepal and Bhutan. Some of these pills have been made for more than 1,200 years. These are the original, jewel pills. They have different crystals in there that support healing in different areas of the body. Some of them have precious metals with the toxic elements removed. Very powerful, frequency medicine in addition to the botanicals and the minerals that are contained in them. So these are specialized. They're called Rinchen jewel pills. Generally, when we incorporate these into a protocol, it's 1 pill every 7 days. They're extremely powerful and stay active in the system for a long time. One of these pills I'm aware of stays active in the system for years after taking it.
Wow.
So there is a dimension of healing that really can't be found anywhere else other than these pills, and the amount of love and blessings that go into their creation is really quite profound.
Okay, so is there anyone in particular that, I don't know what people might want to see here, but I could click on, 1 or 2 to give an example?
Yeah. For what we're dealing with in the world right now, the wish-fulfilling jewel, that is a very powerful detox and would actually be beneficial for you as well. It's neuroregenerating. It removes poisons and toxins, even things like insects and snakes. It's effective for helping to counter.
Oh, that's good. I have a friend who just called me, said he's been poisoned. I guess he's okay, but, maybe I should get some for him.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the more special ones. I picked that one because we just got it back into stock. It's
Okay.
working with monasteries and ordering these pills. It's never really been done in the US before, so it can be some time between us getting our shipments of pills. So I always let people know if you're planning on taking them for a certain amount of time, stock up so that you don't miss the boat in between shipments. But this pill is one that's taken every 7 days, generally on like a full moon or a new moon if you're just using it for cleansing purposes on a regular basis. I've used all of these pills now, and that one, I noticed a huge difference in my joints and my ability to sit with my legs crossed and with a straight back. Just the amount of flexibility that I had seemed to increase pretty significantly after using that pill.
Excellent. Okay. And any others in the group that you might want to
Yeah, let's
highlight?
see here. Well, let's go the precious great iron jewel pill because that's for the eyes. That's a good one to go over. So this
Okay.
is, in the Himalayas, you're dealing with a lot of sunlight. You got ice and snow, which it reflects off at very high altitudes, and there's a lot of eye problems. And so this has, for a long time, been the go-to for any type of eye disorders, and it's very effective for many types of eye disorders. So this is again one that I've used myself. I had a tear duct that had some kind of a infection in it. It would come back and start weeping for years, once or twice every few months. And I used that. I actually just used 5 pills, and it completely dried it up, and it went away. And so again, it's the proof's in the pudding, as they say, and I've experienced this formula myself.
Okay. Lovely. Well, I'm sure that a lot of people could find that valuable. I think, with all the stuff in the air, the chemtrails and
Mhm.
everything, I think people do get eye sensitivity. Uh, so, all right. So, I don't know how long we've been going, but is there any things that you definitely want to include or draw my attention to or have people look at before we let you guys go?
We can just click on the infusions page at the top so people see where to find all of the infusions. It's just Jampha Tibetan Pharmacy Infusions. There you go.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. And this is where you'll find all of our Tibetan infusions. And so you can go through them one by one and check it out.
Okay.
I think we
So,
touched on.
sorry,
Gary,
go ahead.
okay, thanks. We've mentioned Amchi several times, and he seems to be this mystery figure. And he is by design in a lot of ways. And I've sent to you just prior to this a copy of his biography that I think you
Oh,
will
fine.
find to be
That's,
very interesting. Okay, but
yeah.
I wanted just to share a couple of things for your viewers about his background because he adds so much to the power and the efficacy of these products, and he has been sourcing the ingredients of these products for decades. And he's come to really develop strong relationships with these sources. So the supply chain is one that's really built on trust and respect. So real quickly, he has a master's degree in clinical herbology and botanical formulation. He studied ethnobiology in the Northwest of the United States and ethnobiology through the University of British Columbia for the Himalayas. And he has lived in the Himalayas in Nepal. He was blessed by the Dalai Lama in 1972 when some very senior practitioners of Sao Rigpa approached the Dalai Lama and said, "We have a real special student here, and we want your permission to develop a 4-year program just for him." And the Dalai Lama said, "Okay, I'll do that." And so he's approved, and he spent 4 years under this specially designed program, and then 12 years as an apprentice of that. And then he went into his own practice, and then another 12 years of intense supervision through a network of practitioners from around the world. And so when he encounters an issue that he may not be as comfortable, as knowledgeable as he would like to be, he will get in contact with his network. And so it becomes a very collective experience to solve the problems that are found uniquely in the United States or anywhere in the world, but particularly because most people that follow you are in the United States. And so he is he's an amazing soul with an amazing heart and incredibly knowledgeable. So we're very proud to have him, very humbled to have him with us. And he's been so vital to really, as Trinn said earlier, helping Trinn really begin to connect with all of this, the energy, the knowledge, the way to communicate the products. So much of that, besides being innate with Trinn, has come from Amchi, for which we're very grateful.
Lovely. So, and you're sending me a book? Is that what you said?
I'm sending you his biography.
Oh, all right.
It's almost a book.
It's
Okay.
it's you know, I've
So where does
I've
he
learned.
live? In India?
No, he lives here in Bellingham,
Oh,
which is 30 minutes
in
from
the
where we
United
live. So
States. Okay.
he moved from Orcas Island, which has had a very sacred space in my heart for a long time, back to Bellingham 3 months before he contacted us. He pulled his wife and his daughter out and said, we got to move to Bellingham.
Oh,
And it was in preparation for this. You know, he was being guided just as we are. And we found each other when I actually moved to Bellingham 7 years ago. I lived across a street from him and down another street, and he would walk his dogs past where I lived down to a
that's
school.
kind of
And
like
we never
amazing,
connected.
right?
We were dancing.
Like a synchronicity. Very
Yeah, but it's
cool.
a blessing to have him here close, you know, so we can meet when we need to and have time together in the lab. It would have been a lot harder if he was in India or Nepal.
Yeah, right. So I've been to both India and Nepal. Have you been there?
Nope, we're planning on going to Nepal
Oh
at the end of the
my.
year.
Okay, well, highly recommended. I love
Yeah.
going there. Been there more than once, and when I landed in Nepal for the first time, I felt like I was coming home. I
Oh,
didn't know
beautiful.
why. I'd never been there, but just saying. And I'm very interested in that part of the world. Feel very at
Mm.
home there, and I've always wanted to go to Tibet. I haven't gone to Tibet, but yeah. So I went trekking in the Himalaya and to Annapurna base camp,
Mm.
and that was quite an
Wow.
experience.
Wow.
Went with my mother
Wow.
when I was younger, and it was lovely. I was extremely energetic, and I was racing ahead of everybody. And but we had a wonderful time, and it was really amazing. So, just want to say. Okay, well, thank you for everything and for all this incredible healing tinctures and potions and whatever you want to call them. And I'm sure there's other hidden jewels among your sort of pharmacy, if you want to call it that. And anything that occurs to you in the future that you think that my audience should hear about. We're living in sort of moving times, moving target. Health is affected by a lot of the things that are going on, especially what we call weather wars in various areas of the world, including the United States. And
Yeah.
just want to say that I do have a worldwide audience. So don't be surprised if you'll be hearing from people, all over the world, actually.
Yep, we've had some calls from like that.
Yeah. So just want to say, anyway, this will be posted to Rumble shortly. I'll leave it on Facebook as well, and it will be free. So, for everyone. So just saying, anything you wrap up comments from both of you one and then the other?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I'll let Trinn finish, but I'll just say, Carrie, that we're very grateful for your openness and receptivity to Jampha's products and your willingness to share this information. It's a bit outside the box, but so much of the best information is. And so we really are greatly appreciative of your support.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
thank you
Trinn.
very much, Carrie. It's been a real pleasure to have this experience with you for a second time, and we're very grateful for you helping us to share this message with your worldwide audience. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm really the salt of the earth of the people that I've been meeting. I probably had more than 20 consultations with your
Awesome.
community, and everyone's a treasure to get to know. And in closing, what I would share is this. Our bodies are the healers. Nothing anyone gives you or sells you is going to heal your body. It doesn't matter if it's a doctor or what they're telling you. Your body needs to regenerate and heal itself. And so the question you need to ask yourself is, what support do I need to give my body to initiate that process and continue a trajectory of healing where I don't have to take something for the rest of my life? That, in a
Yeah.
nutshell, has been the goal for what we're doing here, because I was on a revolving door of medications. So was my mom. It's no way to live. And so we didn't want to create something that was another revolving door. It's a bit of a challenge with the way that we do business in the modern world, because we're essentially helping people to heal and they're no longer customers. We got to go find more sick people. But that's a beautiful badge to wear, and we wear it with honor. And so if you've been searching and looking for alternatives to find that path to your healing, then please reach out to us, and we would be happy to assist you in any way that we can.
Great. All right. Thank you very much, and take care.